Hi everyone, this is Bobby D and welcome back to my channel. And this is another speed build. This is 17 Culpepper apartments, and I'm just trying to vamp this apartment a little bit because it looks like sad for me. But anyway, so a few weeks back I was playing the 18 Culpepper apartments, and I said I'm gonna just update it a bit, change the furnitures, change the paint, the appliances and everything so that it will look nice, according to my liking. And I said one day, okay, I'll just want to play the scenario because I haven't been playing Sims 4 for a while. I was just mostly building houses, whatever structures I would like to do, but playing the game itself, barely do that. But anyway, so I said I just want to try to play the scenario. So I just click on the 18 Culpepper apartments without thinking or looking at the lot type. So I wasn't aware that this was spooky one. And anyway, so when I started playing, um, my Sims was fine in the beginning, and suddenly all the appliances and all the furniture started going crazy, like faucets, water spilling out, and appliances going crazy with all the on fire and sparks and stuff like that. And my Sims was like trying to fix the faucet. I called for help, just but it was like taking so much time for the help to come, and my Sims character got electrocuted. That was so funny, and I thought that she will be fine, and then suddenly he died. She died. My character died. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I just started playing my game. It was just so funny. And then only at the end when I realized that 18 Culpepper was a spooky one, the lot type that I chose was kind of like that in that character. So I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I didn't know that Sims 4 have all these new changes in the game. And now I'm kind of like aware of it. And anyway, so in this one, I'm kind of like wanting to go for shades of brown and kind of like gray cement wood color. And I like these old bricks in the kitchen. It gives like a little bit of a character. So, like I said, I am no way an expert in building or designing. It's just like my preference in building. And I was aiming for more wood and gray cement type of color, and it reminds me so much of Joanna Gaines. I love her designs, her interior decoration. It's just amazing. So anyway, um and speaking of spooky, I kind of like want to share my own experience about it. So I was in university when this happened. So I was a member of the choir, and we were performing all over the country. And at this time, I think, were asked to sing in one of the towns. So we were housed in a very old dorm. So I don't know if it's a dorm. I can't really remember. But so when we arrived there, I wasn't really comfortable with how the place is. It's very old, it's spooky, and I don't know. But anyway, so we just went along with our rehearsals, all went on with our day. And in our room, I was with, I think, four of my friends together. We were together in a room. So there's one uh, double deck bed. I know, that bed that has the one on the top and one at the bottom. And I was at the bottom. I slept in the bottom, and beside the deck, double deck, there's another bed just on the other side. And then, so after the concert, we were so tired, we went to sleep and all that. And then at some point, I kind of like woke up in the middle of the night because I kind of like heard somebody crying. And I know it was so dark, I couldn't see anything. And then I heard somebody crying. Like I thought it was my friend. She was sitting on the bed, and she was kind of like, I can't see anything, but it looks like that She was swinging back and forth, sitting cross-legged. I'm not sure if that's how she looks, but that's how I look at it, even though it was so dark. And then she was swinging back and forth and making a sound like crying, like a lady asking for help. And then I was trying to wake her up, and she didn't respond at all. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And she didn't respond. I called her a few times and no response. And that's when I realized that, oops, maybe it's something else. I'm not sure. So then I covered myself with a blanket and tried to put myself to sleep. And I never opened the blanket until I just fell asleep. And the next day, when we woke up in the morning, I asked her, like, hey, what's wrong with you last night? Like, why were you crying? And she was like, what do you mean? I'm not crying. I had a good sleep. And she was like, why? Like, why do you think I'm crying? And I said, I saw somebody sitting on your bed. You're swinging back and forth and crying. And she was like, there's no way I'm crying. I had a good sleep last night, and we were all scared and got spooky and all that. And good thing is, like, we were only there in that dorm for like just overnight. The next day we are leaving the dorm, so it was like a scary experience for me, and that's one of the experience that I will never forget. But anyway, since I moved to Canada, I don't get to experience any of those spooky stuff. But from where I came from, there's so many stories I want to share. So yeah, spooky time. So anyway, so this one here, I'm just trying to put some appliances, and as like I mentioned earlier, I'm still working my way out with Sims 4 how to arrange these decorations here and all the clutters, because it seems I find it a little bit difficult, especially with the apartment building where you really don't have much space to move around, and the camera settings, it's just kind of like difficult to to arrange the clutters. That's why I have to kind of like move the cabinets on top so then I could see what am I doing. But anyway, if you can give me some suggestions how to arrange the clutter without really moving a lot of furnitures, the cabinets, I mean. But otherwise, if that is the case, so then I guess we have to move cabinets if that's how this works. And I really love the wood elements, especially this countertop. It makes more so natural and so homey. And the natural colors of it, it gives like a homey vibe. It's just so cute, and I love that so much. And with the other apartment that I did, like the 18 Culpepper, it's kind of like the same thing. Well, not really. It's kind of like a little bit brighter because of the spooky um character of the apartment, because I wanted it to be more like livable. But anyway, for this apartment unit, the 17 Culpepper one, I was thinking of someone who is kind of like a young adult, working adult, who could living a single life, like having a good job and be able to buy whatever she would like. That's why I kind of like have all this complete appliance and decorations for her. So I was thinking while doing this decoration, I was like thinking for somebody like a single person who live by himself or herself. So I guess this is enough. Like the size of the apartment itself is just like enough for for a single person. And at the same time, I've also put a laundry in a washer because it seems like the perfect place to put it when you don't need to go somewhere for like a laundry shop and all that just to do your laundry. And I wasn't even aware that one of the cabinet was over it's just on the dishwasher. But it's only at the end when I realized, oh, it was there. But anyway, just like I said, I'm still working on my way on with Sims 4. It's been a while that I have been playing with it. I was actually more into Sims 3 those days. Those days, it seems like I'm like so old. My goodness. But Sims has been my favorite game. It's my all-time favorite game. When I have laptops, computer with me, it has to have Sims. But anyway, I'm just putting some clutter on top of the washer and dryer in the fridge just to make it look more realistic. And I just put a little bit more clutter just to see how it will look like. I just want it to be more realistic looking. So um with this decor, just the color palette I have, it's just more of the brown and the grays. It's just kind of like um thinking about how Joanna Gaines designed her houses in her shows. It's just like I want to do something like that too. But this one, I just want to make it homey for a single person living by itself. I just put this shelf here that to make it like have more space to put the clutter and just to make it more look it more realistic. Added more plants and stuff like that. But at this point, I was really a little bit struggling how to put the clutters on, but seems to be working. So I guess I think just this doing this design, it's kind of like took me a day or two to really finish this because I'm not with so many. The thing is that what happened was when I started playing Sims and I was like, okay, I want to share my builds, and I brought expansion packs, game packs, kits. It's just like one after another. So I'm just really not um, familiar with what packs these items belongs or what kit this item belongs because it's just like one after another and I cannot even find some of it. So at this part I was kind of like really struggling with the camera adjustments because when every time when I put it on closer it becomes I could see the wall, but I don't know, it's kind of like there's not enough space for the camera to move around. So anyway, um I think if you would like to see more builds and renovations like this, I would really appreciate it if you could give me some comments and suggestions on what to do next or anything that I can do something, just for fun. Sims is my way of relaxing, just to keep my mind busy, just to relax. It's something that I love to do ever since Sims came out. Seems like I'm just very old. Anyway, you know how old I'll be by then. So I would love you to enjoy the rest of the speed build. And speaking of that, speed build, my first video, I kept on saying spilled build. My tongue. Well, I'm not in the first. I'm not my English is not my first language, but anyway, I'm just trying my hardest. Speed build. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, forget about that. We all make mistakes. Anyway, so I would love you to enjoy the rest of the video and have a good one, everyone.